This interview is brought to you by Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self and the 21-Day Challenge. And if you're an entrepreneur or a high achiever, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling overwhelmed, lost, lacking clarity, then the 21-Day Challenge will help you reignite your self-belief, passion, and clarity so you can succeed like never before. Over those 21 days, in the very beginning, we'll get clear on your purpose, why you're here, what your mission, your vision is. You'll be able to break that down into bite-sized steps so that you can tackle that on a daily basis and be able to achieve those biggest priorities to you in one bite, one step at a time. You'll also dial in your daily habits, routines, and rituals so that you can be able to shine and show up as your GPS. So if you are interested and ready to get started on your 21-day challenge, send me an email, chris@beyourgps.com, or you can find me on Facebook and just message me 21-day challenge. I'm interested, and we'll get you started on that. Also, we want to say thank you to our iTunes reviewer of the week, and this week it is Joanna Garzilli, and Joanna says, high energy and enthusiasm. Chris brings an upbeat vibe that is positively contagious. If you're feeling down or stuck, a few minutes of his show will get you in the necessary headspace to break through any troubles that weigh on you. Thanks so much, Joanna. If you want to give us a review, go to beyourgps.com/iTunes, and you can give us a review there, or search Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self on the iTunes or podcast store, and you'll find us like that, and you can give us a review there, or search it on Facebook, Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self, and give us a review there. Wherever it is, thank you so much for giving us that feedback so that we can grow and become our greatest possible selves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this next woman who's going to come on, it is Lori Beard. She's going to come on. She's going to rock the house. Before she comes on, before I do her interview, I just want to remind you that your life can transform in an instant. You can unleash yourself. You can break through. You can truly step into your power in an instant with a power of a decision. So know that if you tune into this next hour, when you do that, when you stay all the way through, you're really maximizing your chances to hear that one golden nugget, that one idea that transforms everything for you. And who knows, this interview with Lori could be exactly that which you've been looking for. So make sure you stick around to the end, because she's going to rock it. She's going to bring the heat. So let's read her intro and then bring her on. Lori Beard is a certified life coach and clinical hypnosis practitioner. She combines both modalities to be a mind coach and an empowerment speaker. Award-winning due to her commitment to instruct youth leaders in a volunteer program, Lori has presented to hundreds of audiences, offering different team development and leadership courses. Lori is a confident, passionate speaker that captivates audiences with her enthusiasm and charisma. Lori's unique path in the world of empowerment through coaching and hypnosis led her to look for sources and solutions for many challenges of her life. She has always sought to share the richness of her own life experiences with people, and now she is dedicated to help others overcome addictive behaviors, remove blockages that stand in the way, and ultimately leading them to self-fulfillment. Born in Puerto Rico and a Texas resident for more than 20 years, Lori speaks fluent English and Spanish. She also speaks the language of the heart, while intuitively connecting with individuals to find answers from within so that they confidently step steadfast and forward into their greatness. And Lori is here with us today to rock the house. Are you ready to do this, Lori?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
How
Awesome.
are
You are live on Becoming Your Greatest Possible Self. Thank you so much for being here, Lori. You are a superstar, and I'm grateful to have you here to share with our audience how we can step into our greatest possible self with the wisdom, the knowledge, and the experience that you've acquired. Thank you so much.
I want to thank you. You're welcome, and thank you for having this. You are definitely a special young man. To me, you're a young man.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're touching lives, changing lives with this genius work that you're doing. So thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. I appreciate you. And we're going to dive right into the theme of the day, which is the power of asking. So how has this made a difference for you in your life, the power of asking?
Absolutely. The power of asking. I'm a believer. I believe in prayer, or asking the universe for whatever it is you need. When you come up with an idea, that means it's a calling. It's something that the universe or God, your God, has put ingrained in your head for you to act on it and do it. When you have that excitement and you ask for whatever it is that you need to make it happen, it will happen if you act on it. So that's blessed my life, and that's made a big difference. I have learned about the power of asking and believing you're gonna get and receive, believing to give whatever it takes that you need to give in order for you to receive. receive what you're asking for.
Yeah.
So it's a great, it's made a big impact and changed my life.
Wow, I love that. Here, something that's really powerful for you is that value exchange. Knowing that you have given, you have contributed, you have really delivered something that is above and beyond the value that you're receiving. They talk about going the extra mile, doing more than is asked of you. And for you, one of the most powerful principles is doing that so that you can receive as much as you want. To receive what you're asking for, you get to give a lot, and then you will receive everything you desire.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's an accountability when you ask for things, and you need to be responsible. And for us we're all worthy, right? We're all worthy to receive, as long as we put into action those things that are necessary to get what is it that we need or want.
Powerful. Yeah, so great. Such a great start to the convo, Lori. Really, really great. So for people who are just learning about you, let's tell them about who you are, what you stand for, and what your clients come to you for. I mentioned a little bit in the intro, but just in your own words, why don't you share?
Sure. I born in Puerto Rico, now live in Texas. I'm gonna be married 25 years with my darling and husband, and I have 8 children.
Wow.
I was around lots of moms all the time, lots of moms and friends asking me for advice. So I always had this intuitive gift, I guess, to help people. And because of my upbringing, I was brought up in a lot of, or not a lot, but a lot of that was around me. Household was a haven. My mom made sure our environment was a great haven of safety. However, around me, there was a lot of issues that I saw and observed happening with extended family. And I don't know, I grew up with that wisdom on what to stay away from, what to do and what not to do. And as I was an adult, having children with a group of moms usually would come to me for advice. When my youngest went to kindergarten, I went to school, and that's where I got my certifications, and I love it. Studying the power of the mind, human behavior has always interested me, and I've enjoyed it a lot.
That's awesome. I love it. 8 kids. Oh my goodness gracious. That is incredible. Just right off the top of your head, what would you say is the biggest thing that having that many kids has taught you?
Oh, wow. To juggle, to prioritize, to set first things first. Even to this day, we're down to like 5 or 6 at home. Some leave and some come back.
Yeah.
And still is my priority, my first role. It's a great combination with now my professional presence that I want to give back to the community. It's an amazing blessing, an amazing role to be on. You never take that hat off. You're always a mom or a parent if you're a parent. And the biggest accomplishment is that to see them grow in wisdom, to help them and guide them in their life choices, difficult times and decisions, and to love them, and to live in the present, because really time goes by so fast.
Yeah.
To embrace the present moment, because it's gonna go fast. So I love to see them and enjoy what I have at home, and face the fact that they move on, and I need to enjoy that too, and know that's the purpose of us being parents, to raise them and let them be independent and leave the nest.
So powerful.
I still have plenty at home, but
oh yeah, I'm sure there's so much, like it's always, whether they're in the house or out, you're constantly juggling that relationship. Like I know my mom especially has a really tight relationship with my sister, and so she's like constantly talking to her and having conversations. I talk to my family probably about once a week right now. We do Zoom calls and video conversations. Just like I'm committed that we have that discipline, that consistent conversation, just to make sure that we're always growing our relationship, because without a plan, without a schedule to keep it growing, then it's not going to keep growing. It just like things don't just happen automatically. We have to like put something in place, and I'm a busy person, you're a busy person, like my parents and my family and my sister, we're all like up to big things. So it's important that we schedule it in if it's a priority to us. I love that.
And I bet your parents appreciate it for you to stay.
Yeah.
And it's such a beautiful thing to have adult children, because a different level of relationship.
Yeah.
You're equals as far as, your stages in your life, you're adults.
Right.
And treating them different and knowing how, wow, they're capable of taking on so much in their lives and handle things. And I've learned so much from my children. I bet your parents are learning a lot from you.
Yeah.
Determination and tenacity and so I bet they admire what you've become.
Thank you, Lori. They definitely do, and I'm constantly stepping into that role as the provider, as the leader. When all my life I grew up as like, oh, my parents know better, or like when I went through my rebellious phase, I was like, screw my parents, I don't care, I don't need them, kind of thing. Like it's hard to believe, but yes, I did go through that phase too.
Yes. I can believe it, and that's fine because you were like a butterfly in a cocoon. You were seeing what your weaknesses were, your strengths were. Sorry to compare you to a butterfly.
No, it's all good.
The metamorphosis happened with those changes and rebelliousness. You were finding yourself. You were forming. You were creating your some adult that you are now.
That's absolutely right, Lori. And I had to unleash myself. I had to unleash my superpowers, which is what we're going to be talking about today with you. And we want to know, how did we get to this conversation of unleash your superpowers in the first place? Because you weren't always this awesome, doing your coaching, empowering people successfully, powerfully, juggling 6 kids and giving them an amazing life and creating this amazing family that you have. So let's go back in the journey. Let's talk about some of those challenges that you had to overcome along the journey. What were some of the obstacles that came up for you in discovering your passion, discovering your superpowers, and really living that in life? What were some of those biggest challenges for you?
Like I said, grew up with a lot of, and I know you had the topic of addiction going earlier today.
Yeah.
So I grew up around a lot of that, and I explain it in my book. It's available on Amazon, Freedom from Self-Slavery. And then it's a very hard, it was a hard thing for me to talk about through the years as growing up and even as an adult, until certain things and experiences in my life tapped into those feelings and suppressed emotions that I had within myself. And so I was shy and an introvert for a long time. And then some things that happened in my life had me with self-esteem issues. And still, I was having fun in my comfort zone as a mom and being pregnant or always nursing babies and tending kids. But I realized there was something inside of me that was still kind of trapped or suppressed. And as I grew up, and when I growing up, I mean growing up into the person I am now, which I'm still growing up, right? Yeah. Going through school, working on homework. If I was gonna be a healer, I needed to heal myself. Right. So homework was aimed for us to heal and go through the process of letting things out to be able to help others. So I think that's when a lot of things came to the surface. And lots of insecurities, lots of sadness and suppressed even traumas that I had came to the surface, and I've been working with them through the years. And that's also what's helped me work with clients. When I can't identify with them, relate with them, I know that they have a special power within, literally, a super potential inside of them that they need to let out and let it shine. And I help them and guide them with method and tools to help them, like you do, right? To help them with a special way and approach to help them become their greatest selves.
Yeah, so beautiful. So you recognize if you wanted to heal yourself, or you wanted to heal others, and you also had to heal yourself, you had to really go down deep into those things that might have been holding you back in the past, and the things you didn't want to look at, the shame, the guilt, the resentment, whatever might have still been there. You had to uncover that and kind of redefine what those things meant, and release that energy, that stored, stuck, trapped energy, so that you could really step into your superpowers. And to be able to help other people do that, you had to first do it for yourself, and then you were able to start doing it for other people as well.
Absolutely. And that goes to the next little tagline of the topic today, is rising up from victimization to victory. Because whenever you're in this zone of poor me, sad me, this happened to me. Can't you hear? Can't you listen? And first of all, if you're not picking up, nobody's going to listen, right? You're not going to listen to what you're not saying.
Yeah.
And second of all, then you assume a role of like, poor me, everybody's against me, and leads to not being responsible, and not owning your own behaviors, not owning your own recovery, not owning wanting to be something else and something different. So, and that's why I really like to teach rising up from victimization to victory, because as we let go of those things, as we step forward into an empowered zone, we are going to become victorious. We're going to say no more of this, no more of that. And I'm going to own my life and reawaken.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So powerful. So like really to own that superpower, we had to transform the victimization story that a lot of people are in, and then step into that victory story to really see ourselves as the superhero, so to speak, of our own journey, of our own creation, of our own story. So like what really goes into that to be able to change that story of being a victim to being able to say, I am victorious. I have overcome these things. I am like certain, I am powerful, I am, committed. What, like, I think that's the world of it, but really in your own words, I'd love to hear, like, what is that transformation and how do we do that?
Great question. Thank you for asking. And it's a long answer. No. Well, I have in my book, I have 7 steps that were through the anecdotes, through the time that came to my office for a couple of years. And as I studied the cases, some similarities and some steps that I took them for them to step forward. And the 7 R's are removing those burdens that are, captivating them, weighing people down, resolving internal conflict. Okay. For many years, I don't know, my parents divorced. And for many years, I thought that was horrible. I thought that was to my disadvantage in the society that I was living in. Mom wanted to work at a school where it was a private school, and she wanted for us. Furthermore, tuition was cheaper, lower for her. And then I was like, my goodness, but we are the children of the divorced parents or household. Everybody seems to have it all together in that little nucleus, right? Yeah. So we need to resolve internal conflicts. Like, hey, doesn't matter, but it's a process, it's a journey. Then reframing, like a new frame, putting things in a new frame of mind. When I was dwelling with the fact that my father abandoned us for a different lifestyle, for a different person, for a different choices, different than us, his 4 children, and my mother, I was dwelling on that forever. As I reframed that, changed the perspective, I realized my mother chose us. So somebody did take care of you. Somebody was responsible enough to take care of you. So reframing that has helped me, like you said, release resentment towards my biological father and just at peace, not forget, but it's there, it happened, but forgive and move on. So reframing is very important, and it helps release negativity. So that's like our number 4, replacing with positivity. And I help my clients release their resentment or anger, because everything usually boils down to some key emotions. Fear, guilt, and shame are one of those top emotions. There's a void inside of them. They have been hosting those negative feelings for so long that if I remove it with the help of hypnosis, my modality that I practice with them, there's an empty space. And we need to replace it with something better, more positive, tranquility, whatever it is. Number 6 is restoring meaningful relationships, starting with self, also with deity. If you restore that meaningful relationship with a significant other that is worth it, not to go back to a self-sabotaging pattern or a damaging relationship, you can solve a lot of things in your life, restoring relationships. And the 7R is rewriting your story.
Yeah. I love it.
So, and Karl Barth has a quote that I'm looking at right now. I love it. It's, although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new ending. And
Mm.
it doesn't matter where you come from, your horrible circumstances and situations, you can rise up, rewrite your story by using all those other steps and moving forward.
Wow, that's so powerful. So just to make sure I got all those steps, number one is removing what weighs you down. Number two is resolving those internal conflicts. Number three is reframing. Number four is to release that negativity. And number five is to replace that negativity with positivity. And then six would be restoring the meaningful relationships. Is that correct? And then seven is rewriting your story. That's powerful.
Shocking. You are a good note taker. I'm impressed. Good for you.
Thank you. Yeah, I think that's so powerful, because really starting with removing what weighs you down. You can't get anywhere if you have toxicity in your life, right? If you have these toxic people, toxic environment, whatever it might be, you can't get yourself to a place of health and happiness if the things and the people around you constantly are like trying to pull you down. It's like, being in quicksand, or trying to swim and you're just trying to keep yourself afloat and positive and focused on your goals. But if there's other things that are weighing you down, then you're not going to be able to succeed. You're not going to be able to keep swimming.
Absolutely. And I love your metaphor. It's genius metaphors, like quicksand. It's like you're continually drowning,
not getting anywhere.
And then also I have another visual. It's like baggage, old baggage. So many beautiful images. When I Google those images for my PowerPoint presentations and things like that, I see images of people carrying luggage with resentment, guilt, damaging habits, and it's because they lack all of that. Sorry, I didn't interrupt for you to review.
No, it's great. Thank you for your additional, like that. The metaphors, I think, are the most powerful ways to reach the subconscious. I'm sure with hypnosis and stuff, it's like the metaphors and the stories are the most powerful way to reach the subconscious. So the first one is releasing what weighs you down. Let's go ahead and take those heavy weights off of our shoulders, those packs, those sandbags that we're carrying around. Let go of those, and then resolving those internal conflicts. Right, like that's like belief system. That's making sure that when we like reprogram our mindset and going back into the past, uncovering the stuff that isn't serving us, we're really able to resolve those internal conflicts to step into a more congruent us. Would you say that that's like the essence of what that one is about?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
Cool. And then the next one would be reframing. So when we have these circumstances and situations that happened to us in the past, we're able to make it mean something else. So like, for example, a common example is, okay, so I'm at a red stoplight and someone crashes into the back of me. And it's like, okay, I have a choice in that moment to make it mean something. I can make it mean that, wow, this idiot, how could he do that? How couldn't he see me there? Like, what's wrong with him? And go off on this negative tangent. Or I could say, wow, I'm grateful I'm still alive. I'm grateful I have transportation. I'm grateful I have a cell phone. I'm grateful all these other things. So that's an example of reframing. And that's in the present moment as it's happening, which is a challenge to do. But the best, people who are able to be the victory stories, to live that victory story, are able to do that instantly. And especially we need to do that in the past. We got to do that for the past events, for the events when, we didn't have such a great relationship with, let's say, our mother or our father, or we had a challenging time with health challenges, or things happened to us, circumstances, our dreams didn't unfold perfectly. We have the opportunity to make it mean something else. It was preparing us for something bigger. It was equipping us to be able to handle something bigger, like a capacity. We expanded our capacity because of those challenging times. So it's like being able to reframe those moments is super important, so we don't get stuck in the past or limited by what we made it mean in the past. Would you agree with that?
I would. I definitely do. To you, can I share something I feel very prompted to share about that specifically, the reframing? There's the Me Too campaign going around, and it's usually women speaking up about traumas of the past, that, sexual traumas and things like that, correct? I want to share with you, it's true for men. Men get men get sexually assaulted.
Yeah.
And an interesting situation I had in my office is this male, told me that he was raped.
Yeah.
And when we finished a session, he came back out of the trance state. And remember, this is clinical hypnosis. It's not entertainment. It's not stage hypnosis, right? This is serious, deep things for a good purpose.
Right.
And what he said is like, I'm okay. I actually love the person that did this to me. And maybe she had it even worse. And maybe she went through many of the same things she was mimicking or acting up. Maybe she had a lot of those. So he came with a very compassionate, forgiving heart. So that's the power of reframing. Those reframing the disempowering perceptions and experiences, taking away those emotions, hovering from the top, looking them from outside to have a better understanding.
Yeah, so powerful. So that's number 3 is reframing, and especially with hypnosis, that's like one of the most powerful times we can dive into that subconscious. So I love how you brought that up, and you're going to be sharing how people can continue their journey with you and how they can possibly do a session with you, or multiple sessions at the end. So everyone who wants to do that, make sure you stick around to the end to keep that in play and move forward with Lori on that. And then the other thing, number 4, is release negativity. We get to release that negativity. Be specific about what that means in this context, because we talked a little bit earlier about removing what weighs you down, resolving internal conflicts, and then reframing, which I would say have a lot to do with taking that negativity and turning it into a positive. So what specifically do you mean by releasing negativity?
Yes, definitely. There's a lot of resentment in that case that I just mentioned, that example, or me, the father, or anybody out there. There's a lot of trauma inflicted. There's a fear of authority bullying you and calling you bad names and things like that. So you are what my friend from Switzerland says, paradigms, and also you imprint. You grow up with these imprints literally on the back of your brain when you're growing up. These imprints are stuck with you. You're a loser. You are good for nothing and things like that. And you're in that mode all the time. And that's why all that weight, all that things that you're carrying are with you. And then bad memories. So releasing negativity is definitely, you need to be ready. Again, negativity is a comfort zone for many. And that's what keeps becoming victims and staying and dwelling on that zone. The person needs to be done with that. Yeah. And some people are done with that and don't know what to do with it. And then they take medications and all that. And if that helps them, great. There's other ways. And releasing that negativity means you need to be ready to let go of it. Literally, let go of that grasp. Totally. That stronghold that you're having, because it's the only zone or the comfortable zone where you are or have been. And it's a challenge to change and to discover a new zone and a new possibilities in your life. And it's sometimes even scary. And you need to be ready to let go of that if you want to into a different zone, which requires changes, requires learning new things and embrace new things in life. So that is definitely important. Releasing that resentment, the guilt, the shame, the anger, to replace it with new things. Yeah. And I hear, really the releasing the negativity is there's a lot of negative thought patterns. Even though we've removed we are removing what weighs us down, or we have done that, we're resolving those internal conflicts, we're doing the reframing, there might still be thought patterns, automatic behaviors, habits that are negative, that put us in a downward spin, a downward spiral. So I really think that release negativity goes hand in hand with replace with positivity. You have to do both. Like, to be able to release that, you have to immediately put something in its place. You can't just say, okay, Chris, don't be negative, don't be negative, don't be negative, don't be negative. You say, hey, today sucks. Oh, wait, I don't want to be negative. I want to release that negativity. Today is awesome. It's the best day ever. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful to be here. So you really have to replace with that positive self-talk. Absolutely. And then simple practical example, you remove junk from your house. You put it in a box for donation, but you leave it in your garage. You haven't released it. You haven't let go of it. It still takes space in your house, in your garage, wherever corner you left it, you haven't released it. Once you leave, you really let go of it, don't take it to the Dropbox, sell it on eBay, whatever it is, you have released it, let go of it to replace with fresh air, to replace something more beautiful, new. I mean, just space, air is okay. You buy something new. So in that sense, yes, release whatever it is, the shame, anger, guilt, whatever, and replace it with peace, tranquility, whatever it is that many times clients just want peace, love, and happiness. And it's just amazing how it works, because when I, as a guide, with the power of suggestibility, say to them however it is that they want to hear it, because it's a very deep discussion before. And how do you want it? How do you want me to say it? How do you want to receive it? It's very transforming.
That's amazing. I love it. And what I also hear is like, you really have to make that decision to let it go. I loved how you, like, you're showing on the screen with your hands, like, instead of gripping it tightly, you have to let it go. And that's so true. I think like people have control issues. They haven't really 100% decided to let go. I love that analogy of, hey, I boxed up all the stuff, all the negative stuff. I put it out in the garage. Oh, I'm never thinking about it. No, it's still there. It's still in your subconscious mind. You still haven't 100% let it go. So that's important to make that ultimate decision.
And to say a little bit more, sometimes me, I take it out to the van. And it's how many people tell me, I know you're listening, and maybe you have done this. You leave it in your car forever. You drive by the Dropbox, you drive by, and you're not whatever, you forget about it, but because you're so used to it, you have to let go of it until you really donate it or whatever it is. And it's just when you're on the fence. To tell you more, I know of someone that their husband got rid of a lot of stuff, and she was on vacation or out of town, and she came back and didn't find the things. She asked where was it that he donated it, got many of those items back.
Wow. Wow.
That is how fixated, laser, focused people are sometimes on the inhibiting past or those things that don't need in their lives. So, yeah.
That's intense. That is intense. I love it. So the last two are restoring meaningful relationships and rewriting your story. So meaningful relationships, tell us more about why that was so important in this formula to have people really step back into their superpowers and step into their victory story.
When people are stuck on so-and-so didn't love me, so-and-so rejected me, this is relationships, this is like romantic relationships, like parent-child, you need to understand and categorize and prioritize even what relationship is worth to restore. Usually people have a hard time or have addictions because a figure of authority or a parent or something horrible happened with an other or with another person. And then that tampers with your identity, with who you are and your self-esteem. Or restoring meaningful relationships, I love to emphasize that if you're not good with your creator or your deity, there's not a lot of motivation on a higher power or a value system, a standards, for you to have moral standards for you to have in your life. And furthermore, no reason for you to fix your life. Once you have that aligned, then comes yourself. Once you understand your deity and your creator, then comes yourself. Fixing or reconnecting and restoring a relationship with yourself means that you can look at yourself in the mirror and know who you are and where you're going to. And also, then you don't have to restore the relationship because it's not meaningful. It hurts you with a perpetrator or somebody that damaged you. And do not expect for somebody ask to apologize. Sometimes people pass away and they will never have that opportunity. for you to demand that from another person. But you need to say, this person did this to me. I forgive, or however you want to paraphrase that, and let go. Again, letting go. And then moving on to more meaningful relationships. And does that make sense now? I mean, does that explain a little bit?
Yeah.
Or restoring those meaningful relationships, because people pursue relationships that are not going to take you anywhere. And people pursue relationships that in their head, it makes sense for them to want that, even with a parent, even with a significant other. But sometimes you have to move on. You have to understand where the person stands. And if they're not going to be beneficial spiritually, emotionally in your life, then you need to move on. Move on and find other heroes, other figures of authority, other friends to be with you and around you. But you need to be that to yourself first.
Yeah, 100%. So like that meaningful relationship, I hear first with yourself to cultivate that love, and all those steps before the 5 steps before have to prepare us to be able to handle those relationships. And whether it's a toxic relationship and we get to let it go, or if someone did something to us, we get to forgive them and restore the meaningful relationships. At that point, we get to use our discernment and our wisdom to be able to say, hey, is this person good to have in my life every single day of the week? No? What about once a week? Okay, maybe. What about once a month? Yeah, sure. And maybe some people are once a year. Maybe some people are like once every couple years, because just to have them around more than that would not be healthy, would not be, productive towards our greatest possible self.
Absolutely. You said it. You said it. Yeah. People need to, like a bank account, they take away from you your energy, your whatever, your value system, yourself, your being, your essence, or add to it. So you need to evaluate that and consider, this is significant enough for me to pursue or not. If not, move on to the next. Sometimes it's better to be alone than in bad company. We've heard that, right? And it's true. And you're never by yourself. If you continue pursuing new relationships, you will find it. You will find it. But sometimes if you think you can't find it and it's hard for you to find, that means you need to look inside and work with yourself first. And it's so worth it. It's so worth it to work with yourself first, and then be your best friend, your own best friend.
Beautiful. I love it. And then rewriting your story, Lori, rewriting your story is super key, because why do we really have to rewrite that story and create a new narrative about our life, about our purpose, about what's next for us? Why is that so important?
It is important because, again, it leads to you owning your story. Like I said earlier, Karl Barth said, although no one can go back and make a brand new start, there's some things that you can't change, and you can reframe them. You remove all these emotions that provoked, that evoked, but you can make a brand new ending. You have the power with your pen, writing in your journal, having a gratitude journal, designing a blueprint of how do you want the rest of your life, whatever it is, the power of rewriting literally. And okay, if you are very big into typing, literally rewriting your story is not a metaphor in this case. This is literally sitting down, and I see you taking out a lot of notes. That is amazing. Very good for you, because there's a power that goes between.
Totally.
What is that? There's that name for it. And the brain and the signals that it sends and the thought process, the healing that happens with writing emotions, the healing that happens, recounting what is it that happened in the past, to where you are now with it and where you're moving forward, again, is very empowering.
Yeah. And I also know when you write things, like literally rewrite your story, it gets it linear on paper. So a lot of people make up things about their past, and when they get to see it on paper, it's a lot less intense than it used to be. You know, in people's heads, their fears can be really, really big and gigantic, but once they put it down on paper, it's like, oh, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, that's what happened. So that's really powerful. It's also like a reframing kind of thing of those negatives, and then also writing out that future. It connects it with our neurology. You know, when we're writing out those positive visions of what we're committed to creating, who we're committed to being, how we want to show up in the world, when we're writing out that story, it puts it into reality. It literally says, hey, universe, I'm not just thinking about this. I'm not just wishing this. I'm committed that this becomes real. So here's the evidence. Here's what's going to happen. And then from there, you can start making the plan and breaking it down into bite-sized steps. But the first step is being willing to write the story and create the story and then go from there.
Absolutely right. Yes, sir. You said it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So as far as like our superpowers, how do we use this formula to discover our superpowers, Lori? And what does that really mean to you, the superpowers? What does that mean?
It means that we are all a miracle. Deserve the best. Because we are great.
Yes.
Deserve the best for ourselves. And also the world deserves your best. There's people in so many lives, only you, Chris, can change. There's lives, you know, somebody here, I'm your guest.
Yeah.
Somebody, and I'm saying what I'm saying. You're rephrasing what I'm saying, and maybe somebody is getting it more from you than from versa. Maybe somebody's like, oh, I need to contact Lori Beard. Yes.
Totally. Yes, you do.
because we each have a calling and a mission in life. And like I said, we are a miracle. Only you know, you have your own chemistry, you have your own experience that you've gone through, and you have a way and a level of relating to a specific person in your life. So that's why it's so important for us to invest time and energy and yes, money in correcting these things that life has thrown at us, you know. We all know that a home needs maintenance. We all know that home ownership is, you know, oh my goodness, changing and replacing things, trading and things like that. The same with us as humans. We go through things in life. We need maintenance. We need counseling. We need coaching. I'm a coach to check how you're doing in life. Where are you right now? And where can you step forward? And sometimes we don't see that potential within us. Like those professors and mentors that I had while going to school, and I still have now some mentors. They see in me things that I cannot see about myself. They're like, Lori, you can't do this. And things that I'm like, oh, really, I can't. And it's so great for me to accept a challenge, suffer through the change, not suffer in a bad way, but man, you know, like you're working out, and there's no pain, no gain, right? So change happens with challenges, and that's what it means to me. To develop your superpowers and tap into those. And we love that with superheroes, and we celebrate that with the big screen, but then we don't realize that. I love it when they say superheroes are around us and they show, you know, firefighters and, you know, things like that, but we each have those superpowers within us.
What do you think the term superpower and superhero, when someone like really steps into that identity, that they're a superhero, that they have superpowers, like what becomes possible for them?
Oh my goodness, they imagine the unimaginable.
Yeah.
Dreams or goals that they thought they were never going to accomplish is just attainable now. Influencing others, changing lives. That is what I consider a superhero. Their job, changing lives, transforming lives, influencing, changing communities. Writing your story in my book. I hope it touches somebody's lives and it changes somebody and helps them identify, hey, I can do this. I can step forward into my greatness and develop my superpowers too, instead of hiding, instead of being suppressed and not believing they can accomplish. All of us, we have a special gift, whether that's like crafting something, thinking something, helping people, fixing. Everybody, I learned from everybody something, and I believe everybody's a volume of book. everybody has their story to tell, and everybody has something to learn from each other. So yes, only you have something inside of you, which is your superpower. I can coach people. What is your superpower? And not, how you see shirts that say, I am a mom. What's your superpower? So each of us have something inside of us that we need to let it out and let it shine to serve and help the community around us.
Yeah, 100%. And I really hear that being a superhero, it could be as simple as, opening the door for someone, It's like really stepping into that moment of just being a human being, being kind, being loving, being generous to another human being. I think like just stepping into the I am a superhero. I have superpowers, or I am superpowers, like that owning that creates so much more potential. Because I know for me, I went from like feeling small and powerless and introverted, like you said earlier. Like I used to be like that. I used to be like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to connect with anyone. Like I don't want to have a conversation because I was so insecure. I was so afraid of getting hurt, of not being enough, of not measuring up. So it's like when I really started stepping into, hey, I am a superhero because I get to make a difference in one person's life. Whatever difference that looks like, however big, however small, I'm not going to compare or judge like what that is and what it means to be a superhero. I just say I am one, and I know that the actions will continue to follow that one at a time. Every moment, every now has another opportunity for me to perform my superpowers. And the more I learn about myself, the more I understand what brings me joy, what brings me happiness, what brings me excitement and fulfillment and passion, then as long as I'm doing those things and staying in my genius, then I am being a superhero demonstrating my superpowers.
Beautifully stated. Totally agree. And you're right. Those small things bring about big things. And being a superhero in small ways bring about big ways. And yes, a smile. And we posted today something like, be the reason that somebody will smile today. That's a superhero. That is something, a smile has so much energy inside of it. You can change somebody's perspective, somebody's day going horrible with a smile, with with a listening ear. Like you said, opening a door. I think about it and I don't want to beat on myself, but after somebody came many times with some things from one room to the other, and I said, "Do you need help?" And she says, "Oh, now you ask." And I feel horrible. I need to be that person's superhero. Like you said, yes, small acts of kindness. It's amazing. So the media likes to showcase negativity and horrible things. I think our nation still has so much potential and power. All I live is beautiful, positive experiences in my daily life here. The Southern hospitality here in Texas, everybody is so nice, and I feel so happy and safe. There's still great hearts out there and human kindness out there, and we need to celebrate that. And definitely, small acts of kindness is a superpower term. Yes.
I love it. I love it, Lori. Awesome. So as far as like, the real takeaway you want our audience getting from this interview, final pieces of wisdom, what would that be? What are the things that you really want our audience to receive and take action on and implement in their life?
Take action on discovering what is your superpower within, tapping care of yourself, acknowledging, recognizing what is it that is inhibiting you. What part of the story or what story you're not telling that if you speak up, it will help you unleash your superpowers, unleash your best self. It's easy, it's a journey, and that is my takeaway. You need somebody. We can't do it alone. Helen Keller said that. She's like, alone we can do so much, but together we can accomplish way much more, way more. And like everything, and a terminal illness, you can't solve that alone. You need a specialist, you need a professional to help you, guide you, recommend things to you. And whether that's me or whether that's somebody close to you, and I do Skype sessions, I do video sessions, it's same effect. Amazingly enough, I've done people in Europe. I've helped people in out of state. I'm from Texas. I've helped people in Arizona. through video calls, and it's amazing. Whether that's me or somebody else, find somebody you can talk to, somebody that can guide you and coach you into the next steps to move forward in your life and to discover what potential you have inside of you. Whether that's in your professional realm, personal and family realm, I mean, for you to move forward to the next thing, the next level, because with the power of the mind, you can accomplish everything. Lao Tzu said, if you correct your mind, I have quotes all over.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the one that I love, if you correct your mind, everything else falls into place. So I encourage you, and the message to you is for you to take action. When you please remove, reframe, resolve, and replace the negativity, you can definitely replace it with positivity, restore relationships, and rewrite your story. Or you have victory. Like Wonder Woman, you know, and Iron Man.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. So awesome, Laura. You are an example and a demonstration of a superhero empowering other superheroes. So I really acknowledge you. I acknowledge you for using and harnessing and tapping into your superpowers. I especially love the what you said earlier about healing and how you had to heal yourself to be able to heal others. It's like, hey, I want to heal so many people. I want to be a healer. I want to make that difference. Okay, well, I have to start with myself. I can't be giving from an empty cup. I have to make sure that I'm overflowing, that I have the love and the joy and the presence flowing from me to be able to remind other people who they are and what they're capable of and how they can show up.
Super. That's exactly right. You're right. And I have really, adversity helps. It refines us. Yeah. And I'm grateful when I look back. Not grateful, oh, I'm grateful for that, but when I look back and I have reframed and gone through the process myself, I am thankful for real because I can empathize, I can relate to people and their pain, and I can see it. Yes.
Yeah, and I think we can all be grateful that everyone's doing the best that they can at any given point in time. Nobody consciously chooses to do worse than they can. Nobody consciously chooses to, suffer more than they have to. Nobody wants to do that. But a lot of people think that that's what they have to do. They have to suffer. They have to hurt others. Things have to not be empowering, and that's just not the case. And at certain points in their journey, that's what they believe, but they're really doing their best. And I think it's important that when we recognize that, we can be grateful for that. And then we can be grateful that, hey, at least I recognize that it wasn't about me, it was about them. It was about their stuff that they're dealing with, their issues, their past, their beliefs that got into our relationship, that got into that moment, whatever it might have been. And I don't own that. I really love like that phrase that I don't own someone else's experience or emotions or what they're dealing with, because we get to own ourselves. We get to own our own journey. We get to own our own presence to show up as our best self.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Beautiful. Lori, this is an awesome conversation, and people definitely want to know how to stay connected with you. What's the next steps? You mentioned about your book that you can, share about how people can get that, and also like just however they can keep going on their journey with you, because you are an awesome superhero and people definitely want to tap into their superhero and their superpowers. How can they do that with you, Lori?
Of course, you can email me at Lori@steadfast, like walking steadfast forward.com.
Okay.
And email me. I have a LinkedIn page. I have my personal, you're going to see my 8 children there, my personal Facebook page. Also, I have Lori Deer page, which is my business page on Facebook. Okay. And definitely email me, call me. I have my business line number is 469-235-7207, and I'll be happy to answer, to have a free discovery session. If you tell me you saw me or heard my interview through Chris Burns' show, I will definitely give you a significant discount. I have 6-month programs to a year program, 3-month program, and I'm not sure about this program. Also, I want to just try it to see if it works. And I can help you. Let me help you, and it'll be great. It'll be great. I become a friend. I give text support. It's amazing. It's amazing. So my clients are very happy, and it's just so wonderful for me to hear that they're happy with this transformation.
I love it. Lori, you are a powerful professional, and I'm sure anyone who works with you is just like, wow, I get to work with this woman, this superhero. They're so grateful. They're so connected with you because you just have that such big heart and you care for people. We can feel it, we can sense it, we know it. So thank you so much for coming on today. Everyone, definitely stay connected with Lori. Go to steadfast-forward.com so you can connect with her and find out more about her services, and send her an email, Lori at steadfast-forward.com. Connect with her, let her know you saw her on the show. And Lori, thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate you, and keep up the amazing work, okay?
Thanks for having me, Chris. It's been great. My pleasure. It's an honor.
Awesome. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.